REIRIE. This is still a difficult name to say. It doesn't exactly roll off the tongue. But if you didn't already know, this is a group with a lot of pedigree behind them. In fact, these two girls, one of them was in the punk group Bratz. One of them you might remember from the, not the current, but the last iteration of Lady Baby. And both of them you should hopefully remember from the first two iterations of Lady Baby. They were the two girls who were in Lady Baby back at the beginning. And yeah, anyway, look, they've had a friendship that has spanned over a lot of things, a lot of changes, a lot of time. And this basically is, well, that friendship coming to fruition. I think a lot of people would agree. This is kind of like, you know, they'd been working together on Lady Baby, but that was always a project that was in flux and changing. And this was kind of them saying, let's just be a duet, a duo, and do some really cool pop together. And thus, here we are. We've had a few singles from them already. They had some really cool stuff ever since they first debuted. Was a couple of years ago now. And, you know, I just think they're a really interesting group with a slightly dancey vibe. And then we had the song Ruler Ruler towards the end of last year, I think it was, which was just super catchy. And then we had Faint Light, which was a bit more experimental. This is a group who are producing some really cool songs. New songs come out, Marionette. I'm excited to check this out. Someone who's a fellow follower of REIRIE in my community, hi Loon, I think he was saying some really positive things about this song when it came out. Took me a couple of days, but finally, work is finished. I have a chance to sit down with my morning coffee, my headphones in, give it a listen. This is one of those bands I'm not going to rush to listen. I'm going to wait till I can sit down, enjoy it. I'm ready. I got my coffee and we're going to enjoy this one together. I'm excited. Like with most of their songs, it's kind of a punchy sub 4 minutes. Let's see. We've just been staring at these two legs for a while now. Let's have a song to go with this. Ooh. What's that on your face? What? Loving it. Okay, I was going to say a bit of a hip-hop beat, but it's got a bit chilled out now. Very old school. Can't get over that. The things on their face. Well, this is not the direction I expected. That sort of punchy kick drum there. This is the kind of, it's a kind of chilled out pop, like R&B pop. You get a real solid hit out of this, couldn't you? It feels very old school, but kind of in a charming way. It's infectious groove to it, though. I couldn't stop my foot if I tried. The backing's staying quite steady. I love just how it's like breaking down and coming back in little places. And you know, they always look like they're having fun in their videos. Always. That arrow looked like it kind of flopped out of the bow. Was that just me? This is really funky. And that layering on the vocals is nice there. Very R&B. Like 90s R&B. apple metaphor. Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Oh, I like that. Yeah, I like how they that last dance move they cut between the black and the white with that. Oh, you are free. Oh no, you're dead. Oh shit. I chose my words wrong. My bad. There we go. Let's leave the logo on the screen. That was not what I expected. Like, we had songs like Ruler Ruler, which were just like crazy, like really throwing it at you fast EDM style things. And then with Faint Light, we went into more of an experimental direction, but it was still very much like grabbing you with little ideas and things. This is just much more settled in, chilled out, no big surprises. Once it starts off, you've got that core kind of R&B chill out sound, and it sticks with it, you know? And I gotta be honest, not what I expected, but this is exactly the kind of song where I would say, if this was like the first thing I'd ever heard from them, I'd be like, oh, okay, so they're R&B group, cool. But knowing all the other stuff they do, this works mainly because it's got that quality of variation. You know, we know like that they do so many different things that it feels more rewarding because it's part of adding extra things to their sound. So if you're listening to an album and you've got songs like Ruler Ruler on there, and you've got all these kind of really coming at you, turn it up to 11 kind of songs, having something like this on there adds that variation, it adds that colour, it adds that extra layer that makes the whole listening experience much more enjoyable. I really actually found this very nice and relaxing. You know, from a song that goes up to nearly 4 minutes long, that's kind of that perfect territory where, you know, if around about that length, if a song feels too long, then you know that something's really wrong because that's not a very long period of time. Whereas if a song feels short at nearly 4 minutes, you know it's actually a very good thing. You know, it's like that perfect length of time where it's like around about where your attention span is, where a normal song should be. So anything that feels excessively long or excessively short kind of just shows you how good or bad the actual arrangement was. And with this, I'll be honest, when we got to the end, I wasn't feeling like, oh, we got to wrap this up now. It was just like, no, it's just chilled out. It's going along nicely. And so it felt very concise for nearly 4 minutes long, which to me is a sign that it found a good groove, stuck with it, didn't do a huge amount of twists and turns, but it did enough to keep it interesting. Like I mentioned, we had that bit in the second verse where the arrangement kind of like backed off a little bit and things broke down. And that was nice because it kind of gave a little bit of, refreshed things and allowed it to build back up into the second chorus. I love that bit at the end where we had the layered vocals as well. That was lovely, very R&B style trick, but it worked beautifully here. I felt this was a simple song, but with just a nice, welcoming groove. It felt like the whole soundscape felt very warm and welcoming. Their voices worked beautifully together. This was just good stuff. But one thing we have to go back and check out. It's around about here. I need to have a look at this shot. Okay, we need to have a look at this. All right. Is it just me, or this didn't look like it went well? Yeah. Do another take. Unless that was actually the joke. It's like, that is not what we just saw. That is not what we just saw. Let's be very clear. It goes from, it kind of, boing, flops out of there, and then suddenly it's flying. Unless the camera's been turned and it's now flying vertically downwards, but the camera's on its side. I'm not... I had to check that out, because when I was watching the video at the time, I was like, that take did not look like it went well. But anyway... Good stuff from REIRIE. Just what a charming group. These girls are really having fun. Like I mentioned, this is a big part of what makes them so cool. They're having fun together. They're enjoying what they're doing. And they look comfortable. They look comfortable in the way, I know a lot was said about, and they had huge fandom during the artist formerly known as Lady Baby days, when that phase when, because Lady Baby was the first, originally was them together and the guy, and then after he was gone, it was just the two of them. And during that phase where it was just the two of them, they had a lot of fandom. A lot of people followed them, and a lot of people were really sort of supporting them. But I get the feeling almost like they were too young, and this is probably why eventually things didn't work between them and had to go off do their separate things. And, they already had like bands like Bratz going on. So when they circled back around and came together for this project, it kind of felt like, okay, they got past the period of being kids, being young, when there was probably, probably drama and all kinds of stuff between them. They got past all of that. They've gone out, they've experienced things, they've done projects on their own a little bit more. They've got to see a bit more of the world, and they've come back. And again, this is why I think, the Lady Baby name obviously would belong to the management company because they've gone and carried that on with a brand new lineup. But I feel in a way like the new name, the new thing, it was like a fresh start. It's like people know them. They know that they are a good duo, but they've had a chance to say, okay, we've had our first steps. Let's just do it properly now. And REIRIE feels like, yes, it feels like them, but it feels like a new project. It feels like totally like we can like sweep behind all of the days of Lady Baby, and we can just say, let's be this new project. And yeah, it's worked. They got their identity. They got songs that are coming out which are varied, but definitely feel like they embrace certain qualities that run throughout all of the songs. Good production, concise arrangements. It's really cool to see, and I'm really glad to see them. I think more than ever before, REIRIE feels like them. Just it works, and I like that. It might not be for everyone, but I like that. I think this is a really cool thing to see, and good for them. I hope this project continues indefinitely into the future. Yes, I'd be glad if they do other little things, like if we get a little bit of Bratz on the side and stuff like that. That would be great if that came back, but I'm really happy with this. I think this is a really cool use of both their talents, and they seem to be having a ton of fun. So there you go. Those are my thoughts. As always, get in the comments, tell me what you think, and until I hopefully see you very soon in Japan for the next one of these. For now, ciao, ciao.